Good morning, boys and girls. Miss Couch here. Today we are going to review what we learned with time over the last few weeks. So when we are finished, you will go in and take the quiz. It's about an 8-question quiz on time to see what you have learned. So today what I'm going to go over with you is, before you take that quiz, I put in your folder a review page. So there's 2 of those review pages on what we've learned with time. So today, I would like you to go ahead and do those review pages first, and then I'm going to go over about 2 or 3 with you before you take your quiz so that we can review. So let's look at our first question. All right, so the first question that we're going to review is, it's number 1. It says, Mark looked at a clock when he left home for his basketball game. He looked at the clock again when he got home after the game. How long was Mark away from home? So what we are going to do here is, I want you to please pause this and go ahead and solve it if you have not done so already. And then when you are finished with solving it, go ahead and push play and we will go over this. So remember, thinking through this, your first steps of what you're going to have to do is, what is it asking you? How long was Mark away from home? And they haven't quite told us the time yet, so we need to find what time he left home and what time he returned from home. And then find the elapsed time. So go ahead and hit pause. When you are finished, go ahead and hit play. So now that you solved this problem, let's read this one more time and solve it together. It says, Mark looked at the clock when he left home for his basketball game. He looked at the clock again when he got back home after the game. How long was Mark away from home? So as we're looking at our time, we want to look at our time that they left first. So that would be your start time. So what time did we start? If you're looking at, remember, you're looking at your hour hand first, which is your shortest. Your hour hand is in between the 4 and the 5. So automatically it goes back to the 4. It has not touched that 5 yet. So our start time is 4. And then looking at our minutes, so count with me please. So we start at 12 and we start counting by 5s. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35. So our start time here is 4:35. So we're not finished yet. We have to get to our end time. So our end time here, we're looking at when he returned home. So of course, looking at our hour hand first, the shorter hand is between the 7 and the 8. It has not touched the 8 yet, so we are going back to the 7. And then we have our minutes. So remember, counting starting at year 12, counting by 5s, we have 5, 10, and 15, giving us the time of 7:15. All right, so now we are going to use our number line to show how you can tell the elapsed time, or what our question is asking us. So we have your timeline here. Remember, you always put your start time down here. I have it up here. So 4:35, and then we have our end time, 7:15. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to jump my hours. So I need to get from 4 to 7 o'clock. So I'm going to jump by just 1 hour, labeling it 2. So if you need to do this, so adding 1 hour gives me 5:35. Then I'm going to jump 1 more hour, giving me 6:35. Now if I jump another hour, it's going to get me to 7:35, which is going to go over my time. So what I want to do here is I want to get to that 7 o'clock and then go the 15 more. So I'm going to just start adding my 10s. So 6:35 plus 10 gives me 6:45. Add another 10 because I'm not there yet. Gives me 6:55. And if I want to get to 7 o'clock, from 6:55 to 7 o'clock, how many minutes go by? 5. So I'm going to add my 5 here with all your minutes. Notice how I'm jumping my hours a little bit bigger so that I can tell the difference, and my minutes a little bit smaller. So now, from 7 o'clock to 7:15, how many minutes pass? It would be 15 minutes. All right, so now what I have to do is add all of these together. Remember, keeping your hours and your minutes separate. So we have 1 hour plus 1 hour, and then we have our minutes. So I have 10. I'm just going to check them off that I used it. 10, 5, and 15, making sure that you're lining those up. All right, so I'm going to start with my minutes here first. So I have 0 plus 0 equals 0, and 5 plus 5 gives me my 10, carrying my 1. And then we have our ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, giving me 40 minutes. And then adding my hours, so I have 1 hour plus 1 hour gives me 2 hours. So your total time would be here 2 hours and 40 minutes. All right, double check your work, and then we'll go on to the next one. All right, boys and girls, here's our next problem. It should be number 5 on your practice reteaching of time. So it says, Marcus rode his bike for 37 minutes on Saturday and 18 minutes on Sunday. Write and solve an equation to find how many more minutes Marcus rode his bike on Saturday. So here you see they've provided you with a timeline. They're showing you that 37 minutes here and the 18 minutes here. So think about what it's asking you, your question, how many more minutes Marcus rode his bike on Saturday, and go ahead and hit pause and solve this out if you have not done so already, and then go ahead and hit play when you're finished. All right, boys and girls, so let me reread this again. It says Marcus rode his bike for 37 minutes on Saturday. As you see, I've noted that here, and 18 minutes on Sunday. Write and solve an equation to find how many more minutes Marcus rode his bike on Saturday. So you can see that I kind of set this up here in 2 different ways, and I'm going to show you 2 different ways how to solve this. So we have 37 minutes on Saturday and 18 minutes on Sunday. So what are we going to do here with our time? Are we gaining time, or are we kind of comparing those times as in using subtraction or addition? All right, if you said subtraction, that is correct. We are subtracting these minutes. They want to know how many more minutes he rode on Saturday than on Sunday. So we are going to do our subtraction. So 7 minus 8, you can't do 7 minus 8 because this is a smaller number, so we have to borrow. Our 3 turns into our 2, and our 7 now turns into a 17. So now subtracting. 17 minus 8 gives me 9, and 2 minus 1 gives me 1. So we have 19 minutes. So let's do this on the number line here that they showed before. So they're showing us first that he had that 37 minutes. Make this bigger. That 37 minutes. So we're going to count. Or, nope, I'm sorry. So let's start with our 19, and let's kind of double check ourselves, okay? So we have, getting our 10s, here's where our 19 is. So if we have 19, and then we want to add 18 more to see if it will get to your total of 37 minutes. So if I have 19, I'm adding 1 more, plus 1 to get me to 20. Okay. Plus 10 to get me to 30. And remember, we want to get to that 37. So we have, counting with me, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. Okay, so that would be your plus 7. Adding these all together again, we have 10 plus 7 plus 1, which gives us our 18, which is right here. So all in all, we have 19 more minutes he rode on Saturday than on Sunday. So your answer would be 19. And remember with this, you're kind of jumping to double check yourself. We double checked ourselves a few different ways here. All right, one more problem, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now we are down to our last one, number 8. So it says, an all-city swim meet started at 9:30 a.m. It ended at 3:45 p.m. How long did the swim meet last? So what I want you guys to do is go ahead and pause this to solve, and then when you are finished, you may hit play, and I want to see, hopefully you guys are doing your work here too and showing me how you solve this on your timeline. All right, boys and girls, let me read this problem one more time. It says, an all-city swim meet started at 9:30 a.m. It ended at 3:45 p.m. How long did the swim meet last? So let's see how we solved this. So you see behind me, I have our start time and our end time. So our start time was 9:30 a.m. Our end time was 3:45 p.m. So of course we're going to start by counting our hours first. So I want my 9 to get to that 3. So adding 1 hour gives me 10:30. 1 more hour gives me 11:30. 1 more hour gives me 12:30. Now after 12:30, if I add 1 more hour, it does not give me 13:30. It goes from 12 to your 1:30. Okay? Add 1 more hour. Now we're at 2:30. And if I jump 1 more hour and I'm at 3:30, I'm still fine. I did not go past my end time. So jumping 1 more hour to get me to 3:30. Now from 3:30 to 3:45, you're looking at your minutes here. So I'm going to start by my 10s. So I'm going to add 10, 3:40, and then from 3:40 to 3:45, we have 3:40. 3:41, 3:42, 3:43, 3:44, and 3:45. So plus that 5 minutes. So now let's add these up. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Adding my hours up. This is all your hours. So I have 6 hours. And then my minutes, I have 10 plus 5. Remember, this is your minutes. So 10 plus 5 gives me 15 minutes. So my total time would be 6 hours and 15 minutes is how long they spent at the meet. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I want you to do, if you have not finished all of those practice problems, go ahead and finish those. And then double check your work with what we went over here as well. And then when you are completely finished with that, that is kind of your review. You'll have similar questions in your quiz. I want you to then go ahead. You've done this is where you're going to do your practice problems. And then I'll have my video here. And then you are going to go in and complete your quiz, checking this box. So remember, you have your anchor charts. These are the anchor charts that we have used so far. So on find time to the nearest, finding the end time, and then your elapsed time. You can refer back to that at any time, but then go ahead and when you are completely finished with that, go through and start your quiz. You have 8 questions on that, and make sure you hit submit at the very end. All right, and if you have any questions, you know how to contact me, and good luck.